Hello there everyone, today I'm doing a reaction video. This is my first reaction video, and it's actually to a channel called Cartoon Clash. And today I'm reacting to Frank West versus Crazy Dave. For those of you that aren't familiar with either character, Frank West is if you watch deathbattle, you should be familiar with Frank West in the least. Frank West is they're both zombie killers, but Crazy Dave is from a game called Plants vs. Zombies. I play it, used to. I play the second game. I'm not on the channel, unless if you guys request me to. But I haven't seen anything from Cartoon Clash. I don't know what their accuracy is. I don't know how their power scale, Crazy Dave, or anything. But I guess we'll find out. And hold on, let's get on with the video. Okay. Peter Griffin versus Sam's. That doesn't sound like a. That one makes a little bit of sense. I would put Hitmonchan up against Tumwater, I guess. Mewtwo versus. What's that fight? What?
Hello friends, I'm TJ Man and welcome to a new Cartoon Clash. Let's get right into the episode.
Okay.
The Zombie Apocalypse, an event that takes perseverance and skill.
True
but
that.
some people have unorthodox ways of navigating through this, such as Crazy Dave, the wacky botanist from Plants vs. Zombies, and Frank West, the zombie fighting journalist from Dead Rising. Frank has dealt with many psychopaths before, so let's see how he fares against Crazy Dave. I'm TJ Man and it's my job to analyze both fighters to see who would win a cartoon clash.
Okay.
Now, some rules for this fight is I'm allowing Dave to have access to plants from mainly the first game and a few from the second game. But only a few, because we'd be here all day if I had to.
Okay, this is the first problem. Dave's plants aren't exactly the most powerful in the first game. Like, the plants are, sure, he has plants like the Cob Cannon, which can one-shot a Gigant. The toughest of his non-boss in the game, the Gigantor, which can basically tank, I think, 10 cherry bombs from the first game. But this is the problem I have. In the second game, the plants are in the second game. I'm fine with him keeping the Cob Cannon and stuff, but it's the fact that he's leaving so much detail from Dave if he uses just plants from the first game. Well, I'll move on, I guess.
Talk about the plants from the second game. However, no garden warfare plants, which just means the plants won't be able to move around, because that would be like having multiple combatants against.
Yeah, that's fine. That I'm okay with.
Which isn't fair. Now, without further ado, let's get started. When you see a picture of this guy, what do you think? Oh, he's just a normal dude with a camera. Well, you're completely wrong. This is Frank West, and he's a journalist who also happens to be an expert at fighting zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude has covered wars, you know. Yes. Along with covering wars, he always looks for the biggest stories in order to reach fame, which led him to a little place called Willamette, Colorado, where he founded the zombie apocalypse. Wanting to explore this weird discovery, he found out he's amazing at fighting zombies, even though he never shot a gun before. In order to fight through this horde of zombies, naturally he needed a lot of strength. I mean, this dude can lift zombies, knock a group of them back with brute force, can one-shot them with just his bare hands, and can rip their intestines out. Lovely. But it's not just the zombies he had to fight. He can put his hand through Special Forces body armor. This armor likely has a tensile strength of 3,620.
There's something.
And is meant to protect.
There's something Deathbattle forgot.
But somehow Frank
one of my biggest problems with Deathbattle, I'll get into this when I do the debunking video of Frank West versus I'm trying to remember his name. Just Frank West Deathbattle I have a big issue with. And I'll get on with it once, eventually.
The thing versus the imposter, we know that it's street level. Now for his durability. He can get
Frank
up
was
from
versus
pretty
the
much anything.
imposter from
He takes
Among
little
Us.
damage from bullets,
That's a
knives,
battle
and
that
other
makes
weapons.
no sense
He can even
whatsoever, and
get
yet
up
I want to
after
see
getting
it.
run over by vehicles. I would know because I saw him do it while playing as him. He can even shrug off many kinds of explosions. Other things he has survived are the impact hammer, which can one-shot groups of zombies and hazard units. What is this guy made of? Look out, Superman. There's a new Man of Steel in town.
This won't be the
He can
only
also
thing I'll
take
be
hits from
reacting to
people
today.
in exosuits,
I'm also
which
going
are
to
able
go
to
on
smack
to
away 12,000
fandom
pound
to react
zombies and smash through
another
concrete.
person's
But Frank is fine
version of
after
this
getting hit by them.
fight. It's written, so don't
Now
expect
for his
like some
speed. For
video.
being middle-aged,
Don't
he
expect me
is
to be reading
surprisingly
at the
nimble,
top of my lungs, so
and
if you
he can
can't
avoid
hear me,
bullets,
I'm
be on par
sorry,
with
you'll
a
have to
clown
read
who
it
can block
yourself.
bullets with his chainsaws in time,
If you don't
and
like
can
my
shoot
reading,
rocket-powered
just mute
explosives
it,
out of the air before they hit
the
him.
video, and read it yourself.
He also has a great deal of intelligence. He's good at manipulating people to gather information, is an experienced journalist, is good at survival, can combine weapons, and knows how to use anything as a weapon. He can also remove handcuffs and can seemingly drive any vehicle he can get his hands on. Now for his abilities and arsenal. Now, since he has such an enormous arsenal, I'm not going to list everything. I mean, he uses so much stuff. Whatever you find in a mall, he's used it as a weapon. He also uses many types of firearms. And again, if you can find that gun in a mall,
Editors know downloading Frank
you can even
Hammer
put items
space, so he
together
has
to create
access
custom
to his
weapons.
full arsenal. Fine by
You
me.
can also mix drinks
I
together
would
to give him
expect
power
them
like speed or strength. Apparently mixing milk and yogurt makes you run fast. Interesting. Next is his camera. He has it with him at all times, even when the military captures him and takes everything including his clothes. Weird. Anyway, for combat, he can use his camera to temporarily blind people, and for some reason, he can take a selfie with zombies or enemies with the snapshot ability. Which brings me to his many abilities. He surprisingly knows a lot of combat moves. He was even able to beat up the Special Forces leader, Brock Mason. And people thought journalists were nerds. I mean, he can dodge, kick, punch, tackle, throw, do karate, do wrestling moves, and can even walk on top of zombies with the zombie ride. Jeez, maybe I need to become a journalist. Now, he also has a zombie form, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to include it, and I'll just be using the human form of Frank. Now, Frank West is pretty much a god amongst men, but technically he's still human and can be killed like any human. He also hates clowns. Now, where have I seen that before?
But the thing I fear more than anything, yes, even more than zombies. Fucking clowns.
Man, I like that this guy
His
likes
best reactions are
Zombieland.
mostly
I
during
love the
gameplay,
movie.
and even then, it's only when doing the dodge roll, which could be considered game mechanics. He's also pretty old, which can hurt his ability as well. And finally, he didn't have much experience fighting at all before going to Willamette. But if the zombie apocalypse ever happened, I would definitely have a journalist on my team.
I've covered wars, you know.
When you think of fighting zombies, what is a weapon you think would be most effective? Crowbars, baseball bats, guns? Sure, those are fine. For an amateur. A real man uses plants. In Plants vs. Zombies, the zombie apocalypse started, and one man decided to find a way to fight back. This was Crazy Dave, and he is your helpful neighbor who provides you with plants to protect against the zombie horde. Now, before we talk about his massive arsenal of plants, let's talk about Crazy Dave himself. For strength, he's surprisingly powerful. The zombies in the PvZ universe have shown astonishing strength. They've been able to break through walls, and according to the Game Over screen, an individual zombie can overpower a human and eat their brain, which would be street level in order to bite through their skull. The zombies are also able to take attacks from each other as seen when a hypnotized zombie attacks another zombie, which would make the zombie's striking strength and durability wall level, with the durability being much higher with bucket helmets and football gear, I guess. Anyway, Crazy Dave has fought on par with Dr. Zomboss himself, who would obviously have equal or greater strength and durability than the normal zombies. The fact he was able to harm and take hits from Dr. Zomboss makes Crazy Dave pretty strong. While there isn't much else to talk about in terms of strength and durability for Crazy Dave, we've only scratched the surface of his abilities. Now, as for speed, he really doesn't have much for this category. I mean, he can likely keep up with fast zombies, such as a football zombie, but even then, that's not very fast, and is mostly peak human speed. However, he should be able to scale to Dr. Zombas, who is quite agile on foot, as seen in this comic panel. Looks like Frank has some competition. Now for his intelligence. You'd think with a name like Crazy Dave, he's some dumb lunatic, right?
Yeah, no.
Well, he's surprisingly really goddamn smart. I mean, he was able to create and genetically alter plants into being sentient and capable of combat. He also created a dinosaur mech and created an RV named Penny, which has the ability to go back in time and can translate any language.
Yeah.
And get this, he created her in order to eat a taco a second time. Now the moment you have all been waiting for, his plants. Obviously, I won't be talking about all of his plants. I'll just name what he can do with them.
Yeah,
obviously, he can use them to shoot projectiles like peas, watermelons.
Let's just pause it. Yeah, I can't zoom in, but the bottom row has 90% plant set aren't in the game anymore. Why? The Gatling Pea with the thing in the bottom left corner. I can't just. The entire bottom row is basically 9 except for the sunflower with 2 heads and the melon oats that's covered in ice and the metal spiky thing next to the top cannon, which is very obvious on where it is.
It's hard to calculate how powerful the plant bombs would have to be to disintegrate the metal of a Zamboni, because I'm not a scientific genius. However, I can tell you it would take 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit to disintegrate a human, so that shows these bombs are pretty hot. Plus, the Snapdragon plant can breathe fire to disintegrate zombies as well. He's not just good at having projectiles, he can also use plants that do close-range combat, such as Squash, which squashes, the Chomper, which chomps, and the Bonk Choy, which bonks zombies. These are creative names. You can also use plants to steal weapons and armor with the Magnet Shroom, which on its own is able to destroy metal, although it does take a while. He can also hypnotize zombies into fighting other zombies with the Hypno Shroom. And he can freeze or slow zombies down with ice plants. He can even reverse time with the Time Warp plant and move a zombie back to where they started.
Yeah, there's something I expected.
You can also upgrade plants, such as a pea shooter, so it shoots 4 peas at a time as the Gatling pea. And he can make a lily pad into a cattail. You know, those weird hot dog things by the lake.
Something that's
but in
no
this case,
longer in
it's
the
an
game.
actual cat. Oh, it's so cute. You're gonna murder some zombies, aren't you, Loki? And he can even upgrade his corn catapults into a fucking corn cob cannon that can also disintegrate zombies. And the final plants I'll talk about are the walnuts, tall nuts, and pumpkins. With these, he can protect himself and other plants. But he can also use the walnuts as bowling balls, which somehow knocks zombies' heads off and one-shots them. And some of them are explosive. Why does he do this? I don't know. 'Cause he's crazy! That was cringy, I'm so sorry. Now, I don't think I've even scratched the surface of what all his plants are able to do, but I think you get the idea.
He hasn't.
I forgot to mention, he even has a plant that can make money. I need to contact this guy. Imagine having a plant that just makes money for you.
Oh, yeah.
For college. But it's not just plants that he has for weapons. He also has a shovel to dig up plants, a rake, and a mallet to smash vases in a minigame. Wait, did he seriously turn zombie fighting into a game with all these minigames? That is amazing. And finally, he can use plant food to give plants a temporary power-up to destroy zombies
He's not
even more
giving good images to the game, but not the best images, not like bad image to what the game is. More like bad imaging on the detail.
But he certainly isn't perfect. While his plants do need sun to plant them, along with needing to recharge before being used again, this is pretty much game mechanics. There isn't any confirmed lore that he needs sun or needs to wait in order to plant the plants. They should just be able to be planted anytime he wants. so sun and plant recharge isn't going to be a factor in this fight.
Hmm.
Anyway, now for his real weaknesses. He doesn't have much combat experience of his own, and mainly relies on plants. Heck, he even got captured by the bungee zombie, although he did escape somehow. Also, even though he is smart, he isn't exactly mentally stable. But Crazy Dave has proven that with his botany expertise, he is a worthy challenge for Dr. Zombie Boss and the zombie apocalypse. Alright, the combatants have been analyzed. It's time for a cartoon clash.
This better be a fight to the death. Okay, Frank. Yeah, this is about what the plants can do. Oh yeah, he's using a lot of the. Dave is using a lot of the important plants and more powerful ones. Okay. Yeah, using motorcycles to work with honey. Potato mine there, potato mine there. This isn't the worst one, I'll give it that, but still. Good night. Yeah, I think that Frank lost. Just a hunch. Hunch here,
Wow,
people.
I guess you could say Dave gave Frank a hard time. Because the time warp plant. Anyway, time to explain. Now, obviously, Frank takes the strength, durability, and speed advantages, let's be real. While they are both wall level, with Frank being small building with the exosuit, due to it being able to smash through a giant steel door. Here's why Dave wins. First, while they have the same amount of experience, since we can assume they started actual fighting when the apocalypse started, Crazy Dave takes the intelligence advantage. Frank has shown many intelligent feats, and is an expert journalist. That's cute and all, but Dave is somehow a super genius who figured out time travel, and how to make combat-worthy plants.
Yeah.
Along with this massive intelligence advantage, Crazy Dave has tons of hacks to throw Frank off guard. For one, he has a magnet shroom, which can steal his weapons. We know this would work since in the second game he can get mugged easily by thieves. He can also use the time warp to reverse Frank back to normal if he has a powerful weapon. So basically what I'm saying is, if Crazy Dave is having trouble, he can just revert Frank back to normal if he wants. Crazy, isn't it? Also, you know how I said he has the speed advantage? Well, Dave can slow him down with the ice shroom or the ice bee shooter, giving him plenty of time to time travel or get a plant out that would help him in the fight. He could even use freaking butter to slow Frank down with the kernel bolt. This brings me to my next point. Crazy Dave has access to time travel, so he can just redo the entire fight again with full knowledge of what Frank is capable of. Frank has never encountered anyone with that type of power, which would throw him off guard completely. Now, this was by no means a stomp. Frank easily could have won, had he been able to have a chance to overpower Dave with his brute strength. But with Dave's massive arsenal of plans specifically used to stop that from happening, he wasn't able to pull off a win.
Yeah.
Now, realistically, if Dave didn't have time travel, Frank has a much better chance of winning. But even then, Dave can use the time warp on himself to heal wounds if he needs to, which also gives Frank trouble. Overall, Crazy Dave's massive, unpredictable arsenal, access to time travel, hacks, and intelligence were too much for Frank West. Frankly, I think he was crazy to think he stood a chance. The winner is Crazy Dave.
Okay. I'll be right back. I need to pull up the web page, but I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now, to continue this 40-minute long video, we have the Death Battle fandoms in Crazy Dave vs. Frank West. I'll be reading it. You can read it on your own and meet me if you want, but I'll be reading it and you'll have to live with it. Okay. Crazy Dave vs. Frank West is a what-if death battle. I will pitting guys zoom in on this. Nope, I can't. This is not the internet. I cannot zoom in on it this time. Anyways, both Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies versus Amy's franchise and Frank West from Dead Rising franchise is against each other. Yeah, just okay. Interlude. I'm not going to be able to do a whizzing boomstick voice, I'm telling you now. I'll try, but with the fact that I have a speech impairment, I'm unable to talk for long periods of time without, having gaps in my sentences and stuff. So if I take breathers, expect it, okay? Anyways. Interlude. Wiz is zombies, whether they may be infected humans or simply just living dead. These terrifying beings hunt down the living for their flesh. No matter how deadly they can be, however, you can always count on these two to save the day. Somehow. Yes, somehow is right. Crazy Dave, the insane protagonist against the undead, and Frank West, the photojournalist turned zombie killing machine. And he's with a boomstick. And it's our job to jam their weapons, armor, and skill to determine who would win a death battle. Crazy Dave first, I see. Okay. Oh yeah, I only know about this because I decided to search up this matchup, while looking for a good matchup to find videos and to react to on this. So yeah. The town of Suburbia was once a peaceful town filled with regular people living out their day-to-day lives. That would all change when a shitload of zombies invaded the town alongside the rest of the world as well. Yep, yeah, more like they invaded time though. All led by the villainous undead scientist known as Dr. Zomboss. Wait though, that's my boomstick. All led by the villainous undead scientist known as Dr. Zomboss, with the entire town out and seemingly the rest of the world out in chaos. Only one man was fit to stop the apocalypse. Boomstick. Some dumbass protagonist with a pot in his hands and on his hand. Yeah, sure, let's go with him. Yeah, that's a good joke. Full name, Christopher David Blazing. Okay. 36 years old, skilled in botany and oddly science and inventing. Yeah, runs a shop in the back of his car, speaks makes and grumbles and gibberish. That's not true, actually. Actually, it's just how the game audio recording they decide to record as audio. So, yeah, that's not how they do it. That's not how you do it. I know I'm tone deaf. Love Sacos is crazy. Yeah, most of this is right except for this one part. So far, though, let's see how if they keep up the streak. Like, I have a problem with deathbattle fandom. I'll react to the videos and stuff for now, but when I was right on there, I was oblivious to rules because I don't read rules. Fuck that. And I got banned for life because I didn't know one rule that all. Like, seriously, they thought I knew the rules. If any of you are in the deathbattle fandom, tell the people that run the person that banned me to unban me. I'm not giving you my name until I change it. But if one of you is part of this, tell them to unban me when I give you my name. Because I was oblivious to the rules. I regret my decisions. It's just not fair that they ban me because I'm a dumbass. Anyways, if you got anything in the background, it's my brother. Other stomping around. Crazy David Blazing, most commonly known as simply Crazy Dave, because it's easier to call him that, was, well, crazy. But when the zombies invaded his hometown of Suburbia, he knew exactly what to do. Use his army of plants to defeat them. I know. That may sound stupid as all hell, but trust me, these plants are far from incompetent. And for some unknown reason, the plants are sentient and can be used as weapons to defend Crazy Dave from the zombie outbreak. Now, there are over hundreds of different plants that Dave has used over the years. Yes, so we'll only be talking about the bare essentials. Plants, pea shooter, sunflower, walnut, compa, cherry bomb, potato mine, iron puff shroom, doom shroom, lily pad, tingle, kelp, cabbage pult, imitator, bok choy, and many, many more. Now I kind of hope they use the doom shroom. Legit, if they don't use the doom shroom. My brother's actual favorite plant is the cob cannon, the one I was talking about earlier. But the doom shroom is my brother's second favorite plant, and my second favorite plant, to be quite frankly. Anyways, first off, all the pea shooters, which is Dave's front line of defense. These birdo-looking plants and have the ability to fire peas from their mouth, which work as surprisingly effective bullets. Yeah, I bet they do. I mean, with the experience, they've taken down a conehead on their own in the second game. In the first game, it takes two to do that. There are also many different subcategories of pea shooters, such as the repeaters, which shoot 2 peas at a time, snow pea, which can shoot freezing peas, use that slow down opponents, gatling pea, which can fire 4 to 60 peas at once. I mean, it should work like that, and maybe, I don't know. Fire peas, which can shoot flaming peas and melt ice, among many more. Pea shooting plants aren't the only thing, in only type of plants he has. As though, for example, Dave has access to the walnut family of plants, which work as a sort of shield. They can absorb tons of damage without slowing down, though they barely move anyway. And the cherry bomb. 2 cherries can join together, who shortly after being planted explode, which can instantly turn nearby zombies and zombies to ash. Hold on. Sorry, I know you can see that blue dot. It's my recording app at work. Yeah, if you've been wondering about that through the past videos, that's what it is. It's my screen recorder. How do a face review want to reach like 1,000 subs or something? And Sherry, okay, I'm here, which can feat which must require at least 1400 degrees of heat to do quickly. Damn, and Cherry Bomb would be a great Terminator. Dave also has access to the chompers. Big ass fly trap. Big ass fly trap looking plants that can devour zombies in a single bite. Though it does need time to fully digest them. Despite him calling them plants, Dave can use mushrooms, which aren't plants, they're fungi. Either way, these shrooms are just as powerful as Dave's other plants. I'm pretty sure they're gonna use the second game's mushroom class, which can stay up. In the first game, problem with mushroom type plants is that they can't be up during the day without the chili bean. But since they repurposed the chili bean in the second game to where when digested by a zombie, makes them blow up into a fart cloud that paralyzes all zombies on the same row and nearby them. It's probably the most powerful plant in the game. Anyways, either way, these shrooms are just as powerful as Dave's other plants, such as the puff shroom, cheap, disposable, tiny mushrooms that can shoot weak bubbles up close. I'm assuming that says close, and then you just forgot to type in the L and go away after a while. I should really be using the term powerful less loosely. As well as the foam shroom, a large mushroom capable of blowing out long bubbles that can go through screen doors, and are powerful enough to push entire rows of zombies, even if they're inside large mechanical robo helmets. Dave's botanic arsenal truly covers all bases, even the sea, such as the lily pad, which allows certain plants to be above water, and the tangle kelp, which drag an unlucky prey to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, the tangle kelp I haven't seen in the second. I know it's in the second game, but I haven't seen its special in its plant food and powered ability. One thing I hope they add to Dave's arsenal, which the other guy didn't add, is the special abilities. Stuff that can basically just he has. It's hard to just explain these. There's the toss where you literally can toss zombies off screen. The ice or fire, depending on which level you're on, which is basically just shoots ice and fire. So, cryokinesis, I think is what it's called, and pyrokinesis. And then the last one is lightning. Just shoot as frying zombies alive with lightning. All four are pretty powerful and should be in Dave's arsenal, as well as, since he's the one that gives the player them. Literally, he is the one that gives, technically he's the one that gives the players them. He's the one that teaches the player how to use it, so it's pretty easy to assume that he knows how to use it too. Okay? I'm fine. As well, anyway, so, Dave's botanic arsenal truly covers all bases. He also has cactus, which can use as prickly thorns to snipe far away foes, such as shuts itself high Alright, to take down higher up opponents or burrow itself into the ground, to pick some zombies dumb enough to walk over it. Damn, have these zombies ever considered the possibility of, walking into other damn lanes? No, but Dave's garlic can, due to its putrid stench. Huh. Oh crap. Oh, sorry, you can't see this. I just dropped my phone. Putrid stench. Huh, neat. Dave isn't just a good at distance, however. He can also use bok choy to pummel opponents into a pulp. Open the snapdragon to breathe fire onto foes. It can also grow giant fucking wings to burn zombies into a crisp. I mean, he's not wrong. A feat which might mean the snapdragon's fire must be at least 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. Boomstick science. And arguably his most powerful plant, the Doomstone, after being planted, can cause a massive explosion which creates a small crater alongside mushroom clouds. And that's just scratching the surface of Dave's plants. He has access to thyme wraps which can take certain beings back in time, squashes which squash foes. Sunflowers which can produce sun, aloe vera which heal allies, and many, many more. Surprisingly, Dave has more than just powerful plants. He has access to lawnmowers, or as pool cleaners, and roof cleaners to mow down anybody in his way. Sorry about that. A garden rake to knock out anybody stupid enough to step on it. Zombies are stupid. Enough to step on it. Watering cans, which help his plants grow. Shovels to the opposite and delete them off the face of the earth. I mean, seriously, a lot of these aren't even wrong. Like, this is so accurate. It's painful. Bug spray. To keep nasty bugs off his plants. And some phonograph, a wheelbarrow, and a giant mallet to smash anybody in his way. He also has access to plant food, which Dave can boost his plants to activate their special abilities. Each plant has own plant food ability to keep foes at bay. He can feed his tacos to his plants to upgrade them, making them shoot faster, be more powerful, have more durability, and can even upgrade them into entirely new plants. And despite his craziness, Dave is a surprisingly great inventor, being able to create 8 giant dinosaur mechs, as well as a sentient taco truck named Penny. Yeah, I'm not reading that. I'm gonna skip over a lot of, I can't circle this. I'm not an editor. If any of you are editors, I beg you to help me. I am terrible at editing. If I tried, I'd probably end up deleting the video by accident. Modeled after a 1950s car, where this RV has the ability to communicate and think for her own. She seemingly is the opposite of Crazy Dave, being intelligent and serious. And of course, Dave used it to travel to ancient Egypt just to eat a taco again. Hey, it's what I'd do if I had a time travel movie. Yeah, that's probably what Boomstick would do. Let's be honest. Despite this, however, Crazy Dave isn't perfect, far from it. Despite Item being surprisingly tech-savvy, his craziness and tendency to not know the simplest things can get the better of him and make him end up in bad situations. He's also not much of a fighter himself. He doesn't have his plants with him. He's very vulnerable in a very vulnerable state. I need to be sure. Breathe. Despite these setbacks, Crazy Dave's insanity and botany, he expertise makes him a shockingly ready challenge for Dr. Zomboss or an undead army. And he confirms the one thing a Mama Boomstick always said to me: never underestimate a crazy person. Here, take this walnut. Why'd I put a walnut on your hand? Because I'm crazy! Okay, FanQuest. I expect a good one. FanQuest was a rising photo channelist wishing to find a big scoop, become world famous. Due to him covering small-time stories, it was hard for him to find a living from that. But an anonymous trick that led him to the Middle East could give old Frank the big story he dreamed of. The tip of the backwater on a Colorado town on a Wilmette, where riot was allegedly going on inside a mall. But instead of a simple riot, Frank found himself in a much greater, more horrifying story. Like, a freaking zombie apocalypse, motherfucker! This person does a good boomstick, though I can reasonably question Wiz. Not gonna lie. After the army barricaded the city, that it would take 3 days for them to actually do anything about it. It was up to him to find the secrets of the outbreak. He can help survivors find shelter inside a mall. And he did it only to learn that the outbreak was caused by the government and experimenting with zombie wasps in Southern America town known as Santo Cabeza. And so Frank did what reasonable person would do and expose the government, finally getting the scoop he dreamed of. All over or at least 15 minutes. Because of the world being in the world, they eventually forgot about the incident, and as Frank fell back into obscurity, so of course he went and fought in more zombie outbreaks as usual. Well, of course, Frank couldn't survive in that zombie-infested mall for 3 days with just a dinky camera. So he used some weapons. What weapons exactly? Well, basically anything in the damn mall. Well, basically anything in the damn mall. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything, literally everything, no joke, basically, anything Frank West can get a hold of, anything, and how many times do I have to say this? It's times like this that I love Death Battle writers. Literally, it's just that the writers can be so creative with their things, with their jokes, but sometimes will give the wrong execution for them. But this is literally the example of the perfect execution. The joke mate was set up perfectly because of Boomstick. And honestly, I enjoy this joke. Let's see if this person can make up with more jokes. And a bit of seriousness. Like, it's not the best if it's not serious at all times. Oh god, I just realized that. Okay, I'm gonna try and find a good song to play in the background when I get to the fight itself. Because Death Battle needs a song. I'll find a good one, don't worry. But for now, Frank has used sex toys, baseball bats, fire extinguishers, hand grenades, flashbangs, and of course his trusty camera, which can be used to temporarily blind anybody in his way. Not only that, but it was also modified at one point to have night vision and spectrum analyzer. Using this, he can spot weak points and highlight drivable vehicles, and clues to cases. Though it does run on limited battery. Yeah, of course it does. As if it didn't, then it would be perfect. Like, literally, it would be the perfect weapon. And then, not only that, but, okay, no, sorry, I was just turning on my TV so I can start, getting something to put on. Hold on. Has much more stranger weapon, Frank, and can also use the Mega Buster. Sorry. Can also use the Mega Buster for Mega Man X to fire shots which can obliterate opponents, as well as a blanket to electrocute foes. Of course, this isn't the type of weapons he can use whose combatants of weapons coined by Chuck are going to obliterate his foes even further, such as the notorious battle saw, which has two freaking chainsaws attached to both ends of a paddle. Okay, breathe real quick, cause I can just going to find something. And then I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, I found a good score. I'll play in the background once the fight gets started. I won't reveal what the score is until the end of the video. Well, give credits to it for being the background music. I literally tried searching up the name of the feat that was labeled at the end of this, but it's not an actual death battle score. It's just something an animation that somebody made. So yeah. Where were we? Yes, boomstick. Of course, this isn't the only types of weapons he can use. He can use combinations of weapons coined by Chuck Green, and to obliterate his foes even further, such as the notorious paddle saw. Oh no, I'm past this. Blambo, an arrow that can blow off limbs into, not to mention the electric hammer, a large sledgehammer made from the card battery that can electrocute foes even more, and of course not was the rocket launcher, which, well, you get the picture. Yeah, probably. Hey, get it? Because Frank Inc. is a photo John, pun not intended, ended. Okay, yeah, that one's good. Aw. Oh god, that was the most perfect thing I've ever seen. Oh god. Frank has even more combo weapons at his disposal, such as Molotovs, energy swords, scythes, and a dirt bike combined with a chainsaw as a dangerous mode of transport. He can even make a zombie launches that, well, launch zombies. And arguably one of his most powerful combo weapons is his exosuit, made from some fans, a slushy machine, this giant mech can freeze his opponents in place. He can even cosplay as various other Capcom characters to gain their abilities as well. Mega Man's Mega Buster, Ryu's martial arts, Dante's blade and gun skills. Just to name a few. Frank Inc is also incredibly quick, being able to keep pace with Adam the Clown, who was able to block 6 up-close shots from what seems to be a giant Glock. Glocks fire at the speed of over 818 miles per hour. To block 6 shots of the maximum Frank can get in before being attacked himself. Adam would have moved at least speeds of Mach 6.4 at over 400 or 500 miles per hour, or approximately. Yeah, that's pretty fast, isn't it? Jesus Christ, this guy is superhuman. Can this man ever lose? Actually, yes, he can. And at the end of the day, Frank is just still a normal human, and a bullet can take him down. Not to mention, this guy is pretty cocky and arrogant, which can get him into trouble. Despite this, however, Frank Quest is still a impressive zombie hunter and will stop at nothing to take the undead down. Well, unless Capcom finds reasoning to make Dead Rising 5 rest in peace, he's Capcom on Vancouver rest in peace. He's snag your you're very disposable. You cheap disposable camera. It's fantastic. Cut. I mean, seriously, I need a raise. Okay, I really hope that's an actual scene. I haven't personally played the Dead Rising games. Okay, predictions for this one. Knowing the fact that it's a death battle, likely they'll say Frank wins and somehow. But I'm rooting for my boy Dave. Dave is just Dave. He's crazy. Seriously, I wish I could pull up a clip, but I can't. Actually, yeah, no, I don't want to risk losing the page. Legit, it's a weird glitch. I unlock that if I'm in fandom and if I'm in any app and I leave for even 5 seconds, it can close out the app. It's just weird. I need to look into it. Anyways, alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all. Well, it's time for a death battle. Okay. Let's get this going once the fight starts. The scene starts with an overhead shot of an abandoned mall. Windows cracked and an ad plastered on the walls falling off in front of the entrance. Penny the taco truck is seen blocking it off as Crazy Dave jumps out of her holding a taco in one hand and a bottle of hot sauce in the other. The Crazy Dave wobble wobble wobble. I'm just gonna read his lines, okay? I don't care. The perfect bottle of hot sauce. No dents, no nasty smell, nothing now. I just need to squirt this on this taco. And make this 42nd best taco of all time. Okay then. Meanwhile, Frank West is seen pushing a shopping cart with a bunch of items in it. He stops in front of the abandoned mall to see Penny and Crazy Dave blocking off the entrance. Hey, excuse me, whoever you are, you're blocking off the entrance. Could you move, please? That would be great. Dave squirts a large amount of hot sauce onto his taco before noticing Frank looking at him looking angrily at him. Q lies in insanity, which means Q this, crazy Dave would no can do, sir. It takes the right combination of setting, condiments, and toppings to make the perfect taco. Frank looks at Dave confusingly. What was that? All I heard was a bunch of gibberish. Dave, I said I'm not moving. This is the perfect place to eat my taco. Oh, taco. Oh, oh. Frank walks up to Dave with anger in his eyes. You know what, buddy? I've already dealt with enough crazy shit today. Now move! Frank pushes Dave backwards as he drops his taco. He watches in horror as a soon-to-be 42nd best taco of all time. Yeah, just all right, buddy. Now you've asked for it. You've got me mad. Dave takes off the pot from his head and slaps Frank in the face, making him step back before shaking his head looking at Dave in fury. Great, another one of those psychopaths I have to deal with. Fight! Great. Dave makes the first move as he lunges at. Hold on. The reason why I'm restarting it is so that I can, so I just don't have to worry about it ending midway. Dave makes the first move. He lunges at Frank with his pot, who manages to dodge the fat man's fury. He quickly rushes to his car as he digs to it. Come on, there's gotta be something to deal with this guy. Dave rushes up to the journalist with his pot in hand before getting slapped in the face by a bottle which shatters on impact. Dave shakes his head and lets the pot back on his head, and then takes out his large mallet and attempts to smash Frank with it. And with it, he manages to dodge. He then gets to his car and rams it into Dave's stomach, making him fall over. The lunatic quickly rolls back up as he rushes towards Penny, getting inside of her. He rummages in her truck, searching for anything useful. As Frank walks up towards the RV, he holding a baseball bat. Dave jumps out with the vehicle holding a flower pot. Not a flower pot. This looks like I can easily drop from the. Suddenly, a pea shooter who sprouts from the pot. As he looks towards Frank, and who stumbles back in shock. What the hell is that at? The pea shooter begins firing peas towards Frank. At first, getting hit in the face with two of them, but then begins to hit them with the bat. The peas begin flying towards the pea shooter as its head flies off, with Dave getting hit with more peas in the process. Wobble, wobby wobble. There's more where that came from, journalists. Dave begins playing rows of pea shooters as they begin firing at Frank. Who manages to knock out some pea shooters with his bat, but is hit by others. Frank quickly whips out his camera and aims towards the pea shooters. Say cheese. The camera light flashes the pea shooters are stunned, and Frank quickly takes his opponent up this opportunity to get out his chainsaw and saws through the stunned plants. Dave quickly beginning his senses takes out his gardening shovel, or as he stabs Frank in the hip with it. As he yells in pain, Frank quickly whips out his baseball bat in an attempt to hit Dave with it. However, Chomper quickly comes out of Dave's spot and bites through the bat, turning it into nothing more than wood chips. Frank, shaking his head and after shock, quickly dodges some chomps from the carnivorous plant, and before running towards his cart. However, Dave quickly feeds the chomper some plant food, and as it begins vacuuming up the cart. Alright, Frank, they again can't read it for long periods of time. Frank and the cart and Frank, and as they are slowly pulled towards the plant's and gaping jaws before Frank can get it digested by the chomper. He quickly whips out his shotgun and blows the plant's brains out. Now, Dave quickly he gets his mallet and attempts to smash Frank with it too, who dodges as he attempts to blow out the insane protagonist's brains. Oh crap. That would be. That, yeah, let's restart it. This is longer than I thought, I'll give it that. Dave quickly gets his mallet and protagonist playing with his shotgun before Bong Choi pops out of the pot and uppercuts the journalist quickly before following up with a fury of punches towards his gut. Frank quickly grabs his shotgun and attempts to shoot the Bong Choi while he slips out of his hand and flying towards a cracked window. The abandoned on the abandoned mall, then shattering it. Dave quickly takes the opportunity to make a getaway. And the Bong Choi uppercuts Frank again, making him stumble to his knees. Dave quickly rushes towards the broken window and hops into it. Oh no, you don't. Frank gets to his car as he pushes it inside the mall. Who is quickly knocked out by a surprise attack by Dave's hammer, who stumbles back a bit before getting smashed in his chest by another mallet swing and knocking back onto his cart. Frank quickly whips out his electric crusher and swings it towards Dave, who is now engaging with Frank in a mallet fight. The two swing their mallets at each other, although before both gamers come in contact, as the two zombie killers end up staying still, though struggling to overpower the other. Eventually, the electric crusher proves who's worthy as it smashes the head out of the mouth out of the mallet, and as Dave is left with the handle, he quickly dodges swings from Frank as a squash goes from the pot, who jumps out and smashes the photographer's electric crusher out of his hands, crushing the handle. Frank once again rushes to his car before getting smashed in the back by Dave's shovel. So as he falls onto his car, he slowly gets up before the crazy guardian can smash his head in, and then who quickly whips out his spike bat. As he swings at Dave, who narrowly dodges it, hit the pot, out goes a melon port and it smashes a large melon on Frank's head, who grabs his head in pain, in dropping the spike bat. Frank retaliates by punching Dave in the face, making him fall on his bottom, and the melon port disoriented it before it tosses another melon at Frank, who manages to dodge and slices the living food in half with his laser sword. Whoa! Oh, the pot grows a laser beam as it fires lasers towards Frank, who manages to get hit in the shoulder as he grabs it in pain, and before the beam can get hit in it again, and Frank uses his camera to flash it in front of him, stubbing in the beam. As as he horizontally slices it in half. As Dave shakes his head, Frank begins swinging, hanging the laser sweat at Dave, sometimes barely hitting, sometimes not, as the crazy protagonist grabs his stomach in pain and blood flowing from it. He yells outside the mall, "Oh, Penny!" Suddenly, Penny comes crashing through the mall as Dave jumps in, making Frank step back a bit before looking at the speeding RV. Frank gets out on his camera as he looks across the mall before noticing sports bikes rushing towards it with chainsaws. He manages to create a slice cycle with it as he speeds towards Penny. He, and he looks across the mall before looks like you've got a tail, fatty. Yeah, yeah. Dave looks behind him in shock as he bangs on the door on the hood of Penny. Penny, that guy's onto us. Can you go any faster? I'm going as fast as possible, or as I possibly can. And user Dave, I wasn't built for for combat like this. Quickly, Dave quickly plants a few potato mines as they arm themselves. Frank manages to narrowly dodge the taters as they explode behind him. Spadoo. Oh, Penny begins flying in the air, attempting to time travel. What the? Not on my watch. Frank quickly whips out a rocket launcher as he shoots at Penny, and he manages to hit one of the tires. As she falls to the ground, moving slow and allowing Frank to catch up. In retaliation, Penny begins slamming into the slice cycle. However, before she can knock it off, Frank jumps onto it. As he begins fist fighting with Dave in which a wasabi whip grows out. Oh yeah, my boy, the wasabi whip. In the game, I love using the wasabi whip in the second game. A fire-based plant that basically, I'll pull up an image of it before how the video ends. But right now, as he begins fist fighting with Dave, even which the wasabi whip goes out of the plant, and as it whips the journalist a couple times before Dave kicks him out. Oh, he manages to click onto the door as the gun goes out from a pot, firing at Frank before he can then get knocked off. He hits out his paddle saw. He saws the pea shoot his head off. The zombie hunter then enters Penny again, and as he begins sawing Dave's leg off, as he screams in pain, a charred guard goes from as it flings Frank off a Penny, who lands in an arcade. While inside, he notices a Capcom arcade machine. Perfect. Okay. A charred guard is a plant that flings zombies back. You would expect it to be like a fireproof plant, but no. Oh, Frank hits the machine and as it starts making Frank transform into his Mega Man X form. Frank, let's see that fat ass get past this. Frank charges up his Mega Buster as he fires it fully charged it launched a shot on at Penny. He manages to get a direct hit on another one of her tires as it comes to a complete stop, flinging Dave off of it. As he crashes into a gardening store, his pot still strapped in Penny. Frank bullseye. Frank runs up to the gardening store before a citron grows from the pot. As it charges up a large blast, in response, as Frank and quickly he charges another shot. As the two fire their fully charged beams at each other, the collision causes a huge explosion, knocking Frank back. As Penny is completely obliterated, hit with nothing more than a pile of scrap, clay, and dirt in her place. Frank quickly rushes towards the gardening stores. He attempts to find Dave to no avail. Certainly, worrying is heard, but as the fat man rushes him with a lawnmower, or managing to cut his foot up in pain, Frank quickly flashes Dave's eyes yet again with his camera, causing him to lose his vision and let go of the lawnmower. Damn it! Looks like this thing is dead, and I hope that was worth it. Dave quickly gets up as he uses. Damn it! How long is this fight? Damn it! Looks like this thing is dead, and I hope that was worth it. Dave quickly gets up and uses his shovel as a crutch, quickly stumbling towards Frank, who runs off into a dark store. Dave attempts to look inside the store before barely being hit by an icicle. Frank walks out of the store, now inside of an exosuit, of his exosuit. It was ice to meet you, baby. Frank walks towards Dave, who narrowly dodges icicle blasts in retaliation. There's no one-legged protagonist gets out his wheelbarrow full of dirt and multiple fire pea shooters and snapdragons, in which the fire pea shooters fire their flaming peats towards the narcotics journalists, and good Frank fires his icicles towards the flaming pea shooter peas. However, the fire icicles, they were shot down by the snapdragon's fire breath. At the short sword of shield, at his limit, Frank shoots out a large frozen tornado that goes towards the wheelbarrow and Dave sucking them in. Though most of the fire pea shooters and Dave are fine, the snapdragons are not so lucky, but yes, they freeze in place alongside the wheelbarrow. Due to most of the flaming pea shooters being near Dave, he was able to keep warm. However, his bottom torso was completely frozen before Frank shot another icicle towards the protagonist, knocking him out of the tornado, fell into the rubble. Oh, that was once Penny. As the journalist walks up to the now hopeless Dave, looks like you don't have any other trick except that little pot of yours. Wobbly wobble. Maybe one more. Why? As Frank looks at Dave in confusion, his thigh wrap sprouts out of the dirt. But what the hell is that thing? Is that really your ultimate weapon, fat ass? The thigh whip then begins dancing. Suddenly, time and space begins warping as Frank and Dave are being glowing. What? What the actual hell is happening? And suddenly, Dave and Frank are time warped, right back outside the mall, all due to being warped back to outside the mall, all due to being warped back in time. Dave regains his legs, and Penny is intact. Hey, excuse me, whoever you are, you're blood. Dave, now knowing what will happen, rushes to his RV, gets out on his pot. Hey, can you please, move out of the way, please? A cherry bomb goes from the pot as Dave grabs it by the vine. What is that? Why are you staring at me like that? Wobble wobble, because I'm crazy. Easy. Dave throws the cherry bomb at Frank, which explodes on contact. Frank's blood and limbs fly off as it hits the camera lens of the car. It cracks. Act. Wabby wabba. Wabba. Oh, Taco, how I missed you so. Dave squirts the hot sauce onto the taco as he bites in one gulp, savoring every bite. There was one bite. Aftermath. Hot damn, that was pretty awesome. What just happened? This was surely an interesting fight to say the least, though both were experienced with fighting wild opponents. Both of these combatants' arsenals were completely different from one another, making this surprisingly pretty close match. Yeah, Frank West was certainly creative with what he had on him, but Crazy Dave was just as if not more creative and destructive with it, with his fast arsenal of plans with them. Under some circumstances, Frank could have easily taken a victory, but there was one thing Crazy Dave had that could completely turn the tide into his favor: time travel. With Time Wrap and Penny's time traveling abilities, Dave had multiple ways of traveling back in time to finish the fight before it even began. Meanwhile, Frankie had no option to counter time travel. Though the Time Wrap did heal Frank, and it could also heal Dave, even Penny, yet again, and turning the tide into his favor. In this circumstances, as he could use that as an infinite source, for instance, healing as opposed to Frank's slow healing factor, with his combat healing skill. Sick, but all about seed packets. They're supposed to recharge after a while, right? Well, there's the thing, and that can merely be excused as just gameplay mechanics. There is no possible lore or reason as to why Dave would have to wait before planting plants. And even without the time travel, Dave's plan army was certainly more certainly more effective than Frank's arsenal of combo weapons. Each and every one of the insane antagonists' plans had a mind of their own and could work independently, as opposed to Frank's combo weapons, which were, just weapons. And the plants had tons of ways to counter Frank's combo weapons. Dave's long-range plants such as cactus and cabbage pole, could certainly counter Frank's more close-ranged weapons. Even if he got close, his many defensive plants, such as walnuts, nuts, and grains, could easily nullify that. And plants like the chompa and bonk or a whole thing is to have foes come close. Sorry, I messed up a lot of speech during this, though. Forgive me. Even Frank's exosuit could be countered by his flaming plants, such as jalapenos, fire pea shooters, and snapdragons. While Frank was certainly more mentally stable than Dave, Dave's time travel, superior planned army, and surprisingly amazing what made him take the victory. Looks like frankly, Crazy Dave stomped from the start. But the winner is Crazy Dave. And there's the death battle score, Rise in Insanity. Overall, I think the death battle fandom did a good job here. I really liked it. The writer definitely did a good job and was definitely more mentally stable than both Crazy Dave and Frank West. But yeah, overall, I believe they did a good video, and I hope to see more of the writing from this guy. But anyways, have a good day, and yeah, later.